Hi all, this is Piyush. Today is a very good day for me. Why? Because here I am going to introduce something to you. And what is that? I'll reveal in few minutes. But before I go to that, let me tell you one thing. When you prepare for UPSC Civil Services examination, there is one area of it, it plays very important role, and that is optional. You all know that if you are scoring good in optional, then only you can crack this examination. And in fact, if you are really scoring well in optional, in that case you can secure very good rank also. आप सभी को पता है कि अगर आप 270, 275 के ऊपर स्कोर कर लेते हैं तो ना केवल आप यूपीएससी क्रैक करते हैं, साथ ही यूपीएससी में आप अच्छा रैंक भी सिक्योर करते हैं. और आप सभी को पता है कि अगर आप 300 का लेवल क्रॉस कर रहे हैं तो उस केस में अनडाउटेडली यू आर गोइंग टू सिक्योर वेरी गुड रैंक, बिकॉज 270, 275 is considered to be a very good marks in UPSC examination. But when it comes to the optional preparation, of course it is not that easy, because there are a couple of things that you need to prepare if you really want to score very good. And in that preparation, there is one thing that plays very important role, that is basically the answer of PYQs. But then unfortunately I have realized that there is no good solution is available in market. What is the meaning of good solution? That means that a sort of answer which is catering all your requirements. And what are all these requirements? Such as, in case of our optional, what we are going to discuss here is basically historiography, then the sources, then we can say the analysis of the answer or the question. These are the things which are very important. But in one solution, if you have been finding all these things, that's going to be a little tough for you. And that's why I had been struggling to prepare the answers of the questions of last 15 years for so long, and finally one part of it is ready. Now here I am going to introduce this particular booklet. Now this particular booklet incorporates the questions and answers of last 15 years. This is for paper 1, and very soon within 2 weeks we'll be even revealing the paper 2 also. So paper 1 is included in one booklet, whether paper 2 is included in 2 separate booklets, because that consumes more number of pages. So right now this is only paper 1, and as I told you, in coming few days we are going to bring those 2 booklets also. As far as the answers are concerned, I would like to show you some samples that you can understand that what sort of answers we have provided in this particular booklet. So let's see a couple of examples from ancient and medieval. So when it comes to the answers of ancient, in that case, okay, now this is one of the questions that I have taken. So while writing the answers, I have kept everything in my mind, and that's how when it comes to answer, we have started it with the micro analysis of the questions. Sometimes we face difficulties in understanding the questions. We are not able to decode the question properly, and that's how we have started all the answers with the micro analysis, where I am just giving you the hint that how you should interpret the question, and then you should write the answers. So that is one thing which is very important for all the questions, and that's how we have just kept the micro analysis of the questions in every area. Then it comes to the second part, sources. Now I always keep on telling you one thing, that when it comes to paper 1, there is something which is very important in the answers, that's sources. That what are the sources that you should definitely incorporate in your answer, and we have made a separate column for the sources, so that you can at least understand okay, these are the things that we are going to write in sources. Then it comes to the third thing, it's the historiography. So all the important historians, what I believe that you should definitely quote, I have included here. And after that, we have just gone for the structure of the answer. And while giving the structure of the answer, we have mainly focused on 3 things: the introduction, body, and conclusion. And we have categorically mentioned all of them. Moving further, the answers has been basically framed in this way. And if it is in a debate format, then we have kept it in the we have kept it in the debate format. Right. So the way you can see the traditional perspective, what are the traditional perspectives? If there is a recent historiography, recent historiography has been also included here, and that's how the answers had been designed. While giving the answers, we have also kept in mind that we can follow the word limit also. Sometimes what happens when somebody is providing you the answer, they are not keeping the word limit. And if they are not keeping the word limit, in that case you are getting like somehow confused that what are the things you should include in your answer and what are the things that could be avoided. Like since I have kept in mind that won't create any complication for you, that whether you should like write this or what are the contents that could be avoided, that should be kept, that confusion is not there at all, right. So that's how you can find that everything is given here properly. Now the other thing which is also very important here, that if any particular question does require a diagram or map or anything as such, right. So there we have just tried to keep it within the in the answer, right. So as you can see, this is one question which needed a diagram. So we have just created these kind of diagrams and we have incorporated them in the answers, that you don't need to think that whether there is any possibility of incorporate any diagram or not, because in the answer itself you can find these diagrams and all. That's how like we have done it. And finally the conclusion is there. There is another question, right. Now this question is slightly different, and that's why like I have included like I am trying to show this particular question as simple. Now this is a question based on architecture. The same like format we have followed, like we have gone for the micro analysis of the question, then we have like discussed the sources, then the structure of answer, and then it comes to the answer. Such as in this particular answer, this kind of diagram can help you, like since it is based on architecture, and that's how we have just included these things right here. So this is how like I can say that whatsoever is the basic requirement in this question, we have just included that. We had tried very hard to incorporate all the possible dimensions in any particular question, right. Now I would like to show you some questions from medieval also. Now in medieval, like there is some complications because of what, like the you are facing problems when it comes to medieval. Now what problems you have been mostly facing, that mostly the sources what you are referring, in those sources there are two important things which are missing. The first is the contemporary sources on what basically the history has been written. So in ancient, like that's different kind of sources. In medieval mostly they are literary sources, but then we mostly avoid it. But in my answers, in fact in every answer, I have just tried to make sure that I can give you the sources, such as in this particular question, what are the sources that have been that I have used, and you need to mention these kind of sources necessarily in your answer. Then it goes to historiography, then structure of answer, and then we have gone further. So in medieval question, we have just tried to incorporate every important thing, and in fact the way I did tell you that we have kept everything in point format, that you are not facing any difficulty, because it is helping you to remember the things. There is another important thing that I must tell you in these answers, that all the keywords have been highlighted. Since the keywords have been highlighted, so it won't complicate your situation, because you can easily, while revising them, you can easily identify, okay, these are the keywords that must be kept in the answer, and that's how we have prepared this answer. I am quite helpful that this particular effort is definitely going to help you out. So I believe that this is definitely going to help you in UPSC preparation. So if you want this particular booklet, in that case you can order it from our website, or let's say you can come to the office also to purchase it. Thank you very much.